Okay. It's 9:13. I call the November 2nd Commissioners meeting to order, and I will apologize for keeping you waiting. We had an emergency situation that has come up that we had to act on. It was a non-public. It was posted as such. The minutes were taken, and it was voted to end that non-public and to seal those minutes. Once that decision or that issue has been handled, we'll be glad to open it up for public knowledge. It was regarding personnel issues and legal counsel. At this time, I'd open it up for public comment. Anyone have any public comment? Yes.
Did you figure out the issue with the boiler and the $300,000 and all that from 2 weeks ago?
We will take action on that today.
Okay. And did you come to a decision on whether you're going to get a snow blower for Will?
Yes, we will be getting a snow. Well, the board hasn't taken action. My personal feeling is yes, we will be getting a snow blower. I hope to hear from Will as to what happened.
It's probably pretty obvious that, yeah, you had a snowstorm and he didn't have a snow blower and it was wet, heavy snow.
Yep.
And how do you spell back injury?
Yep.
Thank you.
Anybody else further? Yes, Mr. Albee.
A few weeks ago, I had floated the idea of offering the old nursing home on a lease basis with the private sector. I wondered if anything had happened with that.
Nothing has happened that I'm aware of. We've had other issues that we've had to deal with, and we haven't gotten into that situation as to putting it out for rental, as you had suggested. If you've got somebody that's interested in renting the facilities, if you'd share that with us, maybe we can follow up on that and see what the possibilities might be.
So are you willing to take an offer? Is that what you're saying?
I think we would open it up for any suggestions.
Okay.
I mean, we have to deal with the delegation regarding what they've done in making a motion to tear down all four wings and then reconsidering it a second time. It'd be fairly difficult to do anything against their wishes, but me as a commissioner would take anything, any kind of suggestions that might be available, and we can do with whatever the board here decides to do.
How much would it cost to just leave it?
Nothing.
Just to heat it into an electric. But we have maintenance in there, we have laundry in there that we have to keep it heated.
What are you talking about?
All
Yeah.
the wings. I know
She's
we're
talking
keeping
about
the
the wings.
core, but
She's
how
talking
much
about
would it
the
cost to just leave it alone and not do anything?
It would
Very
we could shut it down, we could shut the water off, we could shut the electricity off, and it could just sit there. If the roof leaks, the roof leaks. Yeah.
I don't think we should spend the money to do anything with it.
The problem that comes up, and it's in the law, and I thought initially, and I think some others did too, that we could have full control over it. But in the law, once we put money into rehabbing it, then that becomes the issue of the delegation as to what to do with the building. So if we refurbish the core section for maintenance and laundry, then that becomes an issue with the delegation.
So they need to say whether to leave it or tear it down?
Excuse me?
They're the ones that then say they need to either leave it or tear it down?
Right.
I mean, I just don't spend the money on anything right now, since nobody can come to any kind of agreement.
But
on
we
what
haven't yet.
should happen with it, but
Yeah. The issue would come up again at budget time as to how much money they would give us to maintain that building. That's where their control comes, okay?
yeah, I just.
I know where you're coming from, and I think you know where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
It's a delegation issue. Yes, Mr. Babson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, is it just my perception, or is it a reality? It seems to me that we've gone back to an awful lot of non-public sessions for personnel. We went quite a stretch here where we had very few, and now it seems every week we have one or two people that want to come in for non-public session now.
Let me say, we have less disciplinary action taken regarding our non-public sessions. The most recent ones are very, very serious. I'm actually sick over it, but it has to be done. That's why we get big bucks for being commissioners. We try to save the taxpayers' money. We try to treat our employees properly, fairly, and that's the nature of the game. And if it's reality or whatever, things do come up, and we have to do what we can.
I have actually the breakdown from the non-public minutes till the 21st of September. Personnel 6, personal discipline 14, compensation 5, resident issue 3, security jail 1, legal counsel 11, legal contract 9.
What were those?
I agree to ask.
Thank you.
Okay, general public, yes. Mr.
One
Dane.
more thing on the non-public. Do you think it'll be sorted out, say, within a year, within a couple of weeks, within a month? Is there kind of a time frame?
Are we talking about this issue?
This one that we just had. Is there a time that we should ask you again? Remind you?
We can't say. And we can't say because part of it is beyond our control. Yes, Mr. Babs.
It says this document is through 9/2/11.
Yes,
When does it start?
from the beginning.
Beginning of the year?
Yep.
From 1/1/11?
Beginning of time.
The 5th of January.
Okay. On the compensation,
Right.
is, I guess, my question is, if people are paid and their rates established, why do we have 5 non-publics for compensation?
It may be compensation coming to us.
What do you mean?
It may be compensation coming to us.
Well, I'm thinking of compensation as wages.
Not necessarily.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
And one in particular, as soon as we receive additional information, we will make that public.
Well, in this case, would compensation be something like somebody paying us to put the jail wall back together? Would that come under
Good example.
compensation?
Could be a good example.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So, not to belabor it too much, but you have 9 contractual non-public. That's my recollection of what was just said.
Legal contact.
Legal contract.
Legal contracts, and those are different from
Legal counsel.
legal counsel.
Yep.
And can you just enlighten me as to how those would be different?
I can't.
So-
We've had counsel come in, we've used the county attorney perhaps more than we ever have in the past on different issues that have come up. Although he may not have authority, we look to him as a county attorney to give us a recommendation as to what we should be doing. One of the reasons he was in this morning was a legal
Consultation.
Right. No, and that doesn't have to be non-public. That doesn't have to be declared as non-public. That's just
Well,
consultation
in this
with the
particular
lawyer.
case, it's personnel.
But back to contract. At some point during the last 9 months, we haven't finalized these contracts, these 9?
Legal contract.
I'd have to ask the clerk to look up what those 9 contracts.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems as though if you,
Involved in-
I can understand being a non-public to negotiate
Yep,
and to solidify terms.
yep, once a contract
But
is
once
signed,
it's done,
it's
then-
public
then
information, I
you know
agree.
what it is, so.
So would you look
Thanks.
up to see what those 9 contracts would be? And what we can release?
Even the front is sticky.
Any further public input from anybody?
Did-
How are we, Maureen, how are we on the artwork?
We're coming down the home stretch. She's working on the last, the historical photographs that we were gonna put in the
Yeah.
lobby right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
she's almost done.
Just regarding that issue, my wife and I went to the VA hospital down in Manchester yesterday, which was a waste of time. They were supposed to call me, tell me that the appointment was canceled after they called me on Sunday saying to confirm it. But anyway, we're looking at the art on the wall, and there were some interesting type things that were on the wall that Linda had a comment on regarding those kinds of things should be in our nursing home as well. So,
What were they? Can you give me an example?
no, I can't.
Non-public.
It's not public.
I guess I'm just, today I'm a little shook up about what is happening today, or what has happened. And so I may not have all my
Okay.
things in my head. But anyway, that's just a comment. Linda may have something that you could follow up with her on,
Okay.
or she can follow up with you on. Anybody else got any further public comment? I would like to try to limit as much public input by the people who are presenting the budgets this morning. We'll have public input at the end of our meeting. But I'd like to be able to get through our budgeting because we're going to be on a tight schedule from now until the 1st of December when our budget has to be into Concord. I want to make sure we get through with it as best and as complete as possible. This is a preliminary round. If there are questions from the commissioners or it comes up in public session at the end, we will follow up on it and adjust the budgets if we have to. Yes, Mr. Babson?
Did the commissioners discuss the cooperative extension at their annual meeting?
Yes, the...
Tell us what happened?
Not anything different than what you had reported at our meeting. He passed out that same document. I did get an email since, and I'm not sure who else did, but there is not going to be any further reduction next year. And they're still looking at the possibility of regional and sharing of people. George McGlare said, he could see sharing a half-time or a part-time 4-H agent in Stratford County if somebody else would pick up the other portion. I think John Pike wasn't in opposition to that, but a lot of details would have to be worked out if that comes about. Where that person would be housed, who's going to share the other portion of that person's time, and so on and so forth. No conclusions were reached. One of the commissioners suggested that 5 county commissioners get together and work with John Pike to see what possibilities there might be. Where the Extension Council fits in, I have no idea, except that they would be the ones that supports whatever comes out of it. I don't particularly like the idea that they're going to dissolve all the positions and put it out for rehiring. Another state did that, and